Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm continuing a series of tests that I have been doing between two budget variable scopes, the primary arms 1 to 8 and the SwampFox 1 to 10. Now I did an extensive video prior to this between these two scopes where I let you guys look inside. Basically I held up the scope to the camera and you guys were able to see the two different reticles. And I did a bunch of testing already for you guys. And I've already determined that when the reticle is lit up, they're both almost just as good, okay? So what it really comes down to is when you're using just the etched reticle, which is black, which one can your eye pick up better and get it on target. In the test that I did in the last video, I was starting to think that the acss was actually better for that because it is both smaller and thicker, so you're able to find it and get it on target faster when you're using just the etched reticle. So to that effect, I'm going to do some more tests today. You guys are going to get to see my 50-year-old fat ass do a little bit of running today, okay? So I'm going to start off first with the primary arms. Now, I did switch the scopes. This one over here, the last time we did this test, this is the Palmetto. This is the Palmetto State Armory AR-15. This one had the SwampFox on it. Well, SwampFox is now on the Ruger MPR, okay? And I've got the primary arms on this, so I have switched these scopes on the two rifles. And it was fun. I went through a whole process of re-zeroing it. There wasn't much. There was, I had to move it a little bit, but all the same, it was still, a fun, it was just fun activity, just re-zeroing the scope. So, what you're gonna see me do now is with just the etched reticle, you're gonna see me moving and shooting, getting behind that tree over there, shooting on the right side, then doing a left side transition behind the tree and shooting the targets from the other side, getting back on the right side, then running further down range and shooting the two white targets that are down there, okay? So let's do this. So that was the primary arms, 1 to 8. Has that acss reticle. Let's do this now with the SwampFox. Switch the sling. This is the sling I'm using. Is from Brash Tactical. Pretty good. It's like a $20 sling. I've done a couple reviews on this. I've got lots of other slings. I could have easily just thrown another sling on the other rifle, but I've gotten to really like this one, so that's why I'm just switching the slings. It's like 20 bucks. You can get it on Amazon, so it's a very cheap sling that's just good. And it's a fast loop sling, so you can adjust it really quickly from here to wherever you need it. Okay, so now we're working with the SwampFox. Again, just the etched reticle. So I realized this when I got down there, and I tested it again when I got up here because that's what was going through my brain. With the SwampFox, which has the bigger, thinner horseshoe, I find myself using the dot just because the horseshoe is just too big on the outside. Whereas with the primary arms, I'm not even looking for a chevron. I have the benefit of that horseshoe, which is a little bit smaller, and I'm actually using the horseshoe, not looking for the chevron in the center. Again, let's see how much ammo is in there. Do this again with the primary arms. By the way, I am using 22 conversion bolts just because I'm shooting the steel pretty close. So I'm glad I bought a second 22 conversion bolt. Whoops, this one had one there. Safety still on. Okay, that's good. I'm glad I bought a second CMMG conversion bolt because it's making this exercise really easy as far as transitioning back and forth between the two rifles. Would I drop that round? Let's do this again with the SwampFox. I know I got something in here. So again, this is where it really helps to have a fast loop slug, because you can open it up, point the gun up, get your magazine in, charge it. So I gotta tell you guys, I can't really see the horseshoe. I can't see the horseshoe when I'm under that, when I'm trying to move fast like that. Let me open this thing up. I know I showed it to you guys on the last video. But I did a 40-minute video on comparing these two things yesterday. And I went through a whole list of pros and cons. So in one power, so you can see how that horseshoe's a lot thinner. That's really hard to find. And I find myself just trying to find the dot in the center, which is like really hard to see. Versus again, if you haven't seen the last video, make sure you guys check that one out because I went through the details a lot more. See how that's a much thicker? I can actually find that horseshoe and get it on target faster, even when I'm moving. So forget about the chevron or the dot in the middle when you're moving like that and trying to get on target fast. All you're gonna see with the primary arms is the horseshoe. That's the only thing you need to look at. With the other one, with the SwampFox, because that horseshoe is just so far in my peripheral. Where are you? I actually have to go and find that dot. So my thoughts at the moment, after from yesterday to today, I think I'm going to put the SwampFox back in the box. Send it the fuck back. Okay. And I think that I'm going to get a second, because I did want to have a second variable scope. I'm just going to get a second primary arms 1 to 8. First of all, it's lighter. Okay. The only thing I'm losing out on is that one has a 10x magnification. This one has an 8x max magnification. So I'm losing out a little bit on the magnification, but I'm making up for that as far as lightness. You know, the fact that the scope is just, I think it's like maybe 2 ounces, maybe 3 ounces lighter. Given that my goal was to have an etched reticle, right? Because that was my goal. No, I prefer shooting red dots, right? I've said that in the other video. I prefer red dots with a magnifier. I can easily take off the magnifier if I don't need magnification. And all of a sudden I got a really light rifle, okay? Problem with the red dots is, you know, there's electronics involved, okay? So I wanted to have another scope that had an etched reticle. And I looked at the 1X Prism from Primary Arms. I didn't like the click adjustments. It's a 1 MOA click adjustment. I'm waiting for them to, you know, make another one, a Gen 3 that has a half MOA adjustment, and I'll buy that too. But as I was saying, the purpose in buying the scope was to have an etched reticle that would work really good in 1 power. And the Primary Arms is better. It's better. It's $100 cheaper. So it makes sense to just send this one back and get another Primary Arms. Now, this one does have it is closer to a true 1 power. But you know what? The way I was moving and shooting over here, I couldn't tell the difference. So even the fact that the Primary Arms has a tiny bit of magnification in the 1 power, and the SwampFox is closer to a true 1 power. Not exactly, but it is closer. It didn't make a difference, you know, when I was shooting over here. You pretty much have to be indoors looking at straight lines, like a cable running across the floor or something, in order to really see that distortion. Now, I still want to take the SwampFox out to a distance, to a different location where I've got like 300-400 yards to shoot at. If I see that there's like a really huge difference, if I see that, wow, I'm shooting 400 yards and this is like way, you know, having that 10x is way better than the 8x, I'll keep it. Because, I mean, money's not an issue here, you know. This has nothing to do with money. These two are close enough in price that it really doesn't make that much of a difference to me. But I've already committed to buying a second one. So it's a question of if I'm going to keep the SwampFox or just get a second Primary Arms 1 to 8. And at the moment, I'm leaning towards getting sending back the SwampFox and getting a second Primary Arms 1 to 8. One of the things I did kind of like about the SwampFox is that it has the locking turrets where you can adjust from the outside without removing the caps, and then you can reset it. So it's just like another really cool thing to play with. But at the same time, like, you know, like today, like I was resetting these, there's like a little O-ring in there. There's like little splines, and it's like, oh shit, you know, this looks like something that I could possibly break, you know, the fact that they are removable like that. So, you know, they are a little bit bigger. So if you hit this, right, you're gonna damage these. So that's another thing. The fact that the caps are covered. If you hit these, you know, you're hitting the caps. You're not hitting the you know, the turrets themselves. The turrets are on the inside. See how they, you know, the turrets are on the inside, so they're protected. Whereas with the SwampFox, if you hit this against something, I mean, you're gonna actually damage the turret. I still thought it was kind of cool. It was something different to play with. But like I said, my whole goal, my focus is, you know, being able to move and shoot in 1 power, you know, the way you guys saw me doing earlier. And that's really like I'm focusing on like a laser on that. That's the thing that matters the most to me for what I'm trying to get out of this. And the Primary Arms 1 to 8 with its thicker horseshoe, right, with its horseshoe that is smaller, more compact, I can get that on target. I can find it, get on target faster. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys are following me on all my channels. They back each other up on YouTube. I got Absolute Gun Rights, Pocono Shooting, and the original Safa channel, which goes back to 2006. And also on the uncensored platforms, on Odyssey, I'm Pocono Tactical. On Rumble, I'm Pocono Guns. And on BitChute, I'm Pocono Tactical. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Hey everyone, I wanted to add something to that video because the sun started going down, and basically I picked up these rifles, and again, just looking at the etched reticle, no illumination. Okay, this is the SwampFox, okay, versus the primary arms. Okay, I can, when it's getting dark like this, let's say your battery is dead, right? It's like not completely dark, but it's like dusk. I can see the primary arms acss a lot better. I really can't see the SwampFox. So let's do a little bit live fire. I'm shooting at the targets at about 30 yards over there. Again, I got the 22 conversion bolt in here. I mean, it's not easy, but it's doable. That was the primary arms. Let's do the SwampFox now. I can't hit the 6-inch targets. The reason is because I mean, I can see the horseshoe, but I can't see that tiny little dot in the center. I can't see it. And basically, I'm trying to center the horseshoe around the 6-inch target, and it's not working out really good. I mean, I can hit the rims, which are big. I can hit the targets, I think, a little bit closer over here. It's getting a little. I got the 22s in here, and it's starting to rain, so these 22s don't work great when it's wet. Right. At 40 feet in front of me, I can hit the big target, but when I try to get to the small targets, okay, I can hit it there, kind of. If I go further back at 30 yards, at 30 yards, it's a guess to try to figure out where the dot is. That little, I think it's a 1mm dot. Try to get that dot on that target. The horseshoe itself is just way too big to be able to like really aim out there. Let's shoot this some more. I still got some rounds in here. All right, so up here it's easy, right? Easy, right? I'm gonna try the 6-inch targets over here. Easy. Now I'm gonna go back to the 30 yards. That's where I was having real difficulty with the SwampFox. I'm out of ammo. But yeah, I can tell you guys that I have a much easier time with that concentrated horseshoe of the primary arms acss, getting it on target versus the SwampFox. And when the sun's going down like this, that's when you're gonna see the difference. Because like right now, it's like, you know, like you would really like to have that illumination on, right? But let's say your battery's dead, you don't have it. However, there's still light enough out there that you know things could still be happening. It's not dark enough so that everybody's going to sleep, right? There's still enough light out there that you can see, and you may need to use your rifle in this type of lighting condition. And if you've got the primary arms 1 to 8 with that acss, you're gonna have an advantage over having the SwampFox with its thinner horseshoe, where you can't even see the dot, and the horseshoe itself is just too big and too thin, because it's too thin for me to really see it, right? Because now it's getting even darker. I mean, I can see it. Like right now, I'm pointing into a tree over there. I can't see it; completely disappeared. Right? If I point into the trees over here, there's a little bit more light on that side, but I'm pointing into a dark area, completely disappeared. try the ACSS. All right, in that same dark area, well, you know what? They're both disappearing there, right? That area is just too dark. Over there, in this area over here, which is a little bit more lit, I can see the Horseshoe a lot better. Versus, yeah, this one I'm having a much more difficult time. Yeah, so, yeah, it's that smaller Horseshoe with that, you know, of the primary arms, which is thicker, definitely making it easier for me to see my targets under these conditions, you know, when you don't have the illumination. So there it is, guys.